Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to stand before you today and share a principle that I believe is foundational to a life of true success and fulfillment. In a world obsessed with visibility, where everyone wants to be seen, where the loudest voices seem to dominate the conversation, I want to remind you of the profound wisdom in working hard in silence and letting your success make the noise. In today's world, we're surrounded by constant noise voices coming at us from every direction telling us who we should be, what we should achieve, and how we should live. This noise comes in many forms: social media, the opinions of others, societal expectations, and even our own insecurities. It's a relentless barrage of messages that can easily drown out the voice that truly matters, the voice of purpose. You see, the world's noise is all about outward appearances. It's about being seen, being recognized, being validated by others. But here's the truth. The louder you try to be in seeking that validation, the further you drift from your true purpose. Purpose isn't found in the noise, is found in the quiet, in those moments when you tune out the world and listen to the still small voice within you, the voice of God, guiding you toward what you were created to do. The noise of the world is seductive. It tells you that you need to be famous, that you need to have a certain number of followers, that your worth is measured by how much attention you can draw. But purpose is different. Purpose doesn't need an audience. Purpose doesn't need applause. Purpose is about fulfilling the reason you were born, the unique contribution that only you can make in this world. When you chase after the noise, you end up living for others, trying to meet their expectations, trying to conform to their ideas of success. But when you focus on your purpose, you're living for something far greater. You're living for the one who created you, who placed a specific calling on your life. And that's where true fulfillment is found, not in the fleeting attention of the crowd, but in the deep satisfaction of knowing you're walking in your divine purpose. So I challenge you today, don't get lost in the noise. Don't let the world's distractions pull you away from what truly matters. Instead, seek the quiet, seek the stillness. Seek the voice of purpose that's within you. And when you do, you'll find that you don't need the noise of the world to validate your existence. Your life will speak for itself, not through the noise, but through the impact you make by living out your purpose. That today I want to share with you a truth that can change the trajectory of your life. It's a principle that, if embraced, has the power to unlock the greatness within you. This truth is about the power of focused effort, the kind of effort that's not distracted by the noise of the world, but it's concentrated, intentional, and carried out in the quiet moments when no one else is watching. You see, we live in a world that glorifies business, where people wear the exhaustion as a badge of honor, thinking that the more scattered their attention, the more productive they are. But I'm here to tell you that true productivity, true success doesn't come from scattering your energy across 1,000 tasks. It comes from focusing that energy like a laser on the things that truly matter. Focus is the key that unlocks potential. When you focus, you eliminate the distractions that dilute your efforts. You channel your energy into a singular purpose. And in that process, you begin to dig deep into the well of your potential, deep into the reservoirs of your creativity, deep into the gifts and talents that God has placed within you. Think about the roots of a tree. Above the surface, you might see a tall, strong tree standing firm. But what you don't see are the roots beneath the ground. Those roots didn't spread wide just for the sake of it. They dug deep into the soil, seeking out the nutrients and water that would sustain the tree's growth. In the same way, your focused effort is like those roots. It's in the digging deep that you find the strength, the resources, and the resilience to grow, to thrive, and to stand tall no matter what stones come your way. But here's the thing, digging deep requires solitude. It requires stepping away from the distractions, the noise, and the chaos of life, and finding that quiet place where you can concentrate fully on your work, your vision, and your calling. It's in the quiet that you do your best work. It's in the quiet that you refine your craft, develop your skills, and align your actions with your purpose. Now, I want you to understand something important. Focused effort in the quiet isn't just about working hard. It's about working smart. It's about knowing what to say yes to, and just as importantly, what to say no to. It's about setting priorities, understanding what matters most, and giving your best energy to those things. Let me share an example with you. When you look at an athlete who excels at their sport, you see the results of their focused effort. But what you don't see are the countless hours they've spent training in silence, away from the crowds, away from the applause. It's in those quiet hours when no one is watching that they push their limits, perfect their technique, and build the foundation for their success. They've learned to focus on the process, knowing that the results will take care of themselves. In your life, the same principle applies. Whatever your calling, whatever you feel, it's your focused effort that will make the difference. It's your ability to dig deep in the quiet that will set you apart. Don't be discouraged if your progress isn't visible to others right away. The greatest achievements are often born in the hidden places, in the moments when you are working tirelessly, but quietly towards your goals. So I challenge you today, make a commitment to focus your efforts. Find your quiet place where you can dig deep without distractions. Dedicate yourself to the work that truly matters and don't be swayed by the noise around you. Remember, it's in the quiet moments, in the stillness, that your greatness is being forged. And when the time is right, you can do it. The results of your focused effort will speak for themselves. People will see the fruit of your labor, the strength of your roots, and they will marvel at what you've accomplished. But you'll know the secret. You'll know that it wasn't the noise, the applause, or the distractions that brought you success. It was the power-focused effort, the willingness to dig deep in the quiet that made all the difference. Now, I want to share with you today a powerful metaphor that can transform the way you view your journey in life. A metaphor that speaks to the silent, often unseen process that leads to true greatness. I'm talking about the seed in the soil. You see, life's most significant growth happens not in the spotlight, but in the quiet, hidden places where no one else can see. It's in these moments of silence that the real work is done. And that's what I want to focus on today. Let's consider the seed. When you hold a seed in your hand, it appears small, insignificant, and full of potential. But that potential is locked away, hidden within, waiting for the right conditions to be released. For that seed to grow into a strong tree, it must first be buried deep in the soil, away from the light, away from the world's gaze. In the darkness of the soil, something incredible begins to happen. The seed begins its process of transformation in silence. It doesn't need an audience. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need recognition. All it needs is to be in the right environment with the right conditions to begin the process of becoming what it was always meant to be. This process begins with the seed breaking apart. Now, I want you to catch this. Before the seed can grow, it must break. Before it can reach upward and become what it was created to be, it must go through a period of breaking down. That breaking represents the challenges, the trials, and the difficulties that we often face in life. It's in these moments of breaking, of struggle, that our true potential begins to emerge. But here's the key: this breaking, this transformation happens in the soil, in the dark, in silence. No one sees the roots growing downward, searching for nourishment, establishing a foundation. No one sees the process of the seed slowly pushing upward toward the surface. It's a silent, unseen struggle, but it's essential for growth. The roots must go deep before the tree can rise high. In your life, there are seasons when you will feel buried, hidden away from the world. You might feel like no one sees your efforts, no one appreciates your work, and no one understands the challenges you're facing. But I want to remind you today that this is your season of growth, just like the seed in the soil. Your greatest growth is happening in the silence beneath the surface. Don't despise the silent seasons, because it's in these moments that you are being prepared for something greater. The soil represents the environment in which you grow. Is the place where you are nurtured, where you draw strength, where your roots are established. It's in the soil that you connect with your source, with God, with your purpose, with the core of who you are. The deeper your roots grow, the stronger you become. The silent work that you do, the foundation that you build in these hidden moments, is what will sustain you when you finally break through the surface. Now, here's the beautiful part of this metaphor. When the seed finally breaks through the soil and emerges into the light, it doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need to shout, "Here I am." The growth, the fruit, the strength that displays speak for themselves. People will see the tree, admire its height, its strength, and its fruit, but they may never know the silent work that went into becoming what it is. They may never understand the depth of the roots that anchor it, or the breaking that preceded its growth. In your own life, there will come a time when your silent work will be revealed. The success, the impact, the fruit of your labor will be visible for all to see. But you'll know that it wasn't the visible moments that made you who you are. It was the silent, unseen work, the digging deep, the breaking, the rooting in the soil that prepared you for greatness. So I encourage you today, embrace the silence, embrace the hidden seasons. Know that in the quiet, in the soil, your greatest growth is taking place. Don't rush the process and don't seek the spotlight before your roots are deep and your foundation is strong. Trust that in the right time you will break through the surface and your life will bear fruit that others will admire. But more importantly, you will know that you have become all that you were created to be because you are willing to grow in silence. Remember, the seed in the soil is not forgotten. It is being prepared. And just like that seed, your silent growth will lead to a harvest of greatness in due season. Keep digging deep. Keep growing in the quiet. And when the time is right, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more fruitful than ever before. Now, let's delve into another important aspect, Doc, that is often overlooked in our noisy world. It's a principle that has shaped the lives of some of the greatest leaders, thinkers, and innovators throughout history. A principle that, if embraced, can unlock the greatness within you. That principle is this: silence is the breeding ground for greatness. Now, I know that in today's fast-paced society, silence is often seen as something to avoid. We are constantly surrounded by noise, whether it's the sound of technology, the chatter of people, or the endless stream of information that bombards us daily. We've been conditioned to believe that if we're not talking, if we're not constantly in motion, then we're not being productive. But I'm here to tell you that this couldn't be further from the truth. You see, true greatness is not birthed in the chaos of noise. It's birthed in the stillness of silence. Silence is where ideas are born, where visions are clarified, and where purpose is discovered. It's in the quiet moments that we connect with our deepest selves and with the Creator who placed that seed of greatness within us. Think about the greatest minds in history. Think about Moses, who spent 40 years in the desert in relative silence before he was called to lead a nation. Think about Jesus, who often withdrew to quiet places to pray and meditate, even though he was surrounded by crowds. Or think about inventors like Thomas Edison, who would retreat into silence, shuttling out the world so that he could focus on the innovations that would change history. These moments of silence were not wasted. They were the very breeding ground for the greatness that was to come. Why is silence so powerful? Because silence forces us to confront ourselves. In silence, there is no external noise to distract us, no opinions of others to influence us, no societal pressures to conform to. It's just us, alone with our thoughts, our dreams, and our Creator. In this space, we begin to understand who we truly are, what we are capable of, and what our purpose is. Silence strips away the superficial and gets to the heart of the matter. In silence, you find clarity. It's in the quiet that the vision for your life becomes clear. It's where you can hear the still small voice guiding you, directing your steps and helping you to see the path ahead. You begin to see the bigger picture, to understand the why behind what you're doing. This clarity is essential because it's what sustains you when the noise of the world becomes overwhelming. But silence is not just about clarity, it's also about preparation. Silence is where you prepare for the greatness that is to come. It's where you refine your skills, build your character, and strengthen your resolve. Just as a warrior prepares for battle in the quietness of the training ground, so too must you prepare for your purpose in the silence of your own life. It's in these moments of preparation that your foundation is built, that your roots grow deep, and that you become equipped to handle the challenges that lie ahead. I want to encourage you today to embrace silence as part of your journey to greatness. Don't be afraid to step away from the noise, to turn off the distractions, and to spend time in quiet reflection. Find that place where you can be alone with your thoughts, where you can meditate on your purpose, and where you can connect with the source of your strength. Remember, silence is not a sign of inactivity. It's a sign of preparation. It's not about doing nothing. It's about doing the deep internal work that is necessary for true success. The world may not see what you're doing in the silence, but that's okay. The silence is where your greatness is being cultivated, where your vision is being shaped, and where your destiny is being forged. And when the time is right, when the silence has done its work, you will emerge stronger, clearer and more focused than ever before. The world will see the results of your silent preparation, and they will marvel at the greatness that has been birthed from the quiet. So I leave you with this: embrace the silence, seek it out, cherish it. Use it as the breeding ground for your greatness. And when you do, you'll find that the noise of the world no longer holds power over you, because you've discovered the true power of silence. Today, I want to share with you a truth that has stood the test of time, a principle that is woven into the lives of some of the greatest leaders in history. This truth is that solitude is often the crucible in which true greatness is forged. Throughout the pages of the Bible, we find example after example of how God uses solitude to prepare his chosen leaders for their divine purpose. Let's start with Moses. Moses was a man destined for greatness, but his journey didn't begin in the courts of Pharaoh or on the grand stage of leadership. No, his journey began in the wilderness, in solitude, away from the noise and distractions of Egypt. After fleeing Egypt, Moses spent 40 years tending sheep in the desert. 40 years. That's a long time to be in obscurity. A long time to wonder if your life has any significance. But it was in that solitude that God was preparing Moses. It was in the quiet of the desert that Moses learned patience, humility, and dependence on God. And when the time was right, God called him to lead the Israelites out of bondage. Moses' time in solitude was not wasted. It was essential to his preparation as a leader. Then there's Joseph as a young man. Joseph had dreams of greatness, dreams that his brothers and even his father would one day bow down to him. But before those dreams could become reality, Joseph was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and later unjustly imprisoned. He spent years in solitude, far from his family, far from the life he had known. But it was in those years of solitude that Joseph's character was refined. It was in the quiet of the prison that Joseph learned to trust him completely, even when his circumstances made no sense. And when the time came, Joseph was elevated to a position of great power, second only to Pharaoh, and he was able to save his family and an entire nation from famine. Joseph's solitude was the furnace in which his greatness was forged. And what about David? Before he became a king, David was a shepherd, spending long hours alone in the fields, tending to his father's sheep. It was in the solitude of the pasture that David developed a heart for God. It was there that he learned to worship, to pray, and to trust in God's protection. It was in the quiet moments, away from the eyes of others, that David's courage was built. So when the time came to face Goliath, David was ready. He didn't hesitate. He was ready, because he knew from his time in solitude that God was with him. David's preparation in solitude equipped him to become the greatest king Israel had ever known. Let's not forget Jesus himself. Before he began his public ministry, Jesus spent 40 days in the wilderness in complete solitude, fasting and praying. It was in that solitude that Jesus was tested, that his resolve was strengthened, and that he prepared for the mission that lay ahead. Throughout his ministry, Jesus often withdrew to solitary places to pray, to connect with the Father, and to find strength for the work he was called to do. Jesus understood the power of solitude as a time of preparation. So what do these examples teach us? They teach us that solitude is not a place of punishment. It is a place of preparation. It's in the solitude that God shapes us, refines us, and equips us for the purpose he has for our lives. Solitude is where we confront our fears, where we wrestle with our doubts, and where we develop the character and resilience needed to fulfill our calling. Many of us fear solitude. We fear being alone, being in a place where there are no distractions, no noise, no activity. But I want to encourage you today to embrace solitude as a gift from God. See it as a season of preparation, a time to draw closer to him, to hear his voice more clearly, and to allow him to work in your life in ways that are not possible when you're surrounded by the business of life. Remember, every great leader, every great person who has accomplished something significant has gone through a season of solitude. It's in that solitude that God does his deepest work in us. It's in that solitude that our faith is tested, that our trust in him is solidified, and that we are prepared for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. So if you find yourself in a season of solitude, don't despair. Don't rush through it, and don't seek to escape it. Instead, lean into it, allow God to do his work, and you allow him to prepare you for the greatness that he has destined for you. Like Moses, Joseph, David, and Jesus, your time in solitude is not in vain. It is the foundation upon which your future will be built. In solitude, God prepares his greatest leaders in solitude. He refines their character, sharpens their vision, and strengthens their resolve. And when the time is right, he brings them out of solitude, ready to step into their destiny. So embrace your solitude, for it is in the quiet, away from the eyes of the world, that God is preparing you for greatness. Start now. I want to address a principle that is often overshadowed by the clamor of our noisy world, the principle of letting success speak for itself. In a society where everyone seems to be shouting for attention, where people are constantly seeking validation and recognition, it's easy to forget that true success doesn't need to be announced. It doesn't need to be flaunted. It simply needs to be experienced. You see, there's a powerful truth that many miss. The true measure of success is not in the noise we make, but in the results we achieve. Results have a language all their own. They don't need a loudspeaker. They don't need elaborate presentations. Results simply show up. And when they do, they speak volumes. Let's consider the example of a seed. When you plant a seed, you don't stand over it and constantly remind it to grow. You don't yell at it or try to force it to sprout. You plant it, nurture it, and then let nature take its course in time. The seed grows into a plant, and eventually it produces fruit. The success of the plant is evident in the fruit it bears. No one needs to be told how fruitful it is. The fruit speaks for itself. Similarly, in our lives, when we focus on our work, our purpose, and our calling, we are like that seed. Our task is to plant the right actions, to nurture our talents and gifts, and to remain patient. The results will follow, and when they do, they will speak for themselves. Consider the story of King David before he became the renowned king of Israel. David was a shepherd boy who faced the giant Goliath. He didn't boast or make grand promises about what he could do. Instead, he focused on his task and his faith. When he faced Goliath, he did so with confidence in his preparation and trusting God. His victory was a result of his focus and preparation, and that victory spoke volumes. It was not David's words, but his actions that demonstrated his greatness. His success spoke for itself. Another powerful example is the life of Thomas Edison. Edison was a man who understood that results are the best form of validation. He didn't seek to be recognized for his efforts. He focused on his inventions and his work. When he finally invented the light bulb, his success was evident. The light bulb lit up homes around the world, and his results spoke for themselves. Edison's focus was not on the accolades, but on the results of his work. In our modern world, there's a tendency to seek immediate validation, to want recognition and applause before the results are even fully realized. But I urge you to take a different approach. Let your success be the loudest voice in the room. Let your results be the testimony of your efforts. Focus on the work. Focus on your purpose and let the outcomes speak for themselves. When you dedicate yourself to your calling and put in the hard work, the results will come in. Those results will be more powerful than any words or claims. You can make the impact you make, the lives you touch, the goals you achieve. These are the true measures of your success. Remember, the power of results lies in their ability to speak for themselves. They convey the truth of your efforts, the sincerity of your purpose, and the authenticity of your journey. When you let your success speak for itself, you align yourself with a higher principle, one that values integrity and substance over empty words and sim over empty words. So I challenge you today, invest your energy into meaningful work. Focus on your purpose and your goals. Don't seek validation or applause prematurely. Instead, let your results be the testimony of your success. When the fruit of your labor is evident, it will speak volumes, and in doing so, it will inspire others. Validate your journey and stand as a testament to the power of letting success speak for itself. Thought today, I want to share a story that embodies a profound truth about the path to greatness. It's the story of Joseph, whose life journey from the pit to the palace offers us invaluable lessons on perseverance, faith, and the power of divine preparation. Joseph, as many of you know, was the 11th son of Jacob. His story begins with dreams of grandeur, dreams that foretold a future where he would rise above his brothers and lead with authority. However, Rather than stepping immediately into a position of power, Joseph's journey took a dramatic turn. His path began not with ease, but with adversity. His own brothers, driven by jealousy, threw him into a pit. Imagine the despair and confusion he must have felt in that dark, cold place, his dreams seemingly out of reach. But it's crucial to understand that the pit was not the end of Joseph's story. It was the beginning of his divine preparation from the pit. Joseph was sold into slavery and taken to Egypt here in the house of Potiphar, a high-ranking official. Joseph faced yet another trial. Despite being a slave, he chose to excel in his duties with integrity and commitment. His dedication and ability earned him a position of trust and responsibility yet again. Joseph's journey took a turn for the worse when he was falsely accused of a crime and thrown into prison. Even in the bleak confines of the prison, Joseph's spirit did not falter. He continued to use his gifts, interpreting dreams for his fellow inmates. It was this very act that would lead to his breakthrough. Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, had troubling dreams that none of his advisors could interpret. The butler, who had been in prison with Joseph, remembered his gift and recommended him to Pharaoh. Joseph was summoned from the prison to interpret the king's dreams, and his wisdom and insight impressed Pharaoh so much that he was appointed as the second in command of all Egypt. Joseph's ascent from the depths of a pit to the heights of the palace is a testament to the power of perseverance and divine timing. His trials were not mere obstacles, but steps in a larger plan. Each stage of his journey, whether in the pit, in Potiphar's house, or in prison, was preparing him for his ultimate purpose. Joseph's story teaches us that adversity often serves as a platform for preparation. The trials we face are not always punishments, but part of a greater plan. They are opportunities for growth and development. Joseph's faithfulness in every role, no matter how small, paved the way for his promotion. His story reminds us that being diligent in our responsibilities, even when they seem insignificant, will lead to greater opportunities. Moreover, Joseph's life highlights the importance of divine timing. What may appear as delays or detours in our journey are often strategic elements of a larger plan. God's timing is perfect, and while we may not always understand it, we must trust that He is working behind the scenes to set the stage for our success. Another crucial aspect of Joseph's story is his commitment to integrity and forgiveness. Despite his suffering, Joseph chose to forgive his brothers when he later encountered them during the famine. His ability to forgive and his unwavering integrity were key to his success and fulfillment of his destiny. Joseph's journey from the pit to the palace is a powerful illustration that greatness often emerges from the most unexpected places. It's not about where you start, but how you respond to the journey. Embrace your trials as opportunities for growth. Be faithful in your tasks. Trust in divine timing and maintain your integrity. As you navigate your own path, let Joseph's story inspire you to persevere through challenges, to trust in the process, and to believe that your greatness is being prepared in the quiet, challenging moments of your journey. Your pit is not your final destination. It is a stepping stone to your palace. Embrace the lessons of Joseph's life, and you will find that your own journey to greatness is unfolding in ways you may not yet fully see. I am in a world that is constantly seeking attention, validation, and recognition. The true power and value of silent, diligent work can easily be overshadowed. Yet, it is in this silent labor that we often find the deepest fulfillment and the greatest inner peace. In our fast-paced society, where every achievement is broadcasted and every success is flaunted, it can be tempting to measure our worth by the applause and accolades we receive. However, there is a different kind of reward that comes from working quietly, from dedicating ourselves to our tasks without seeking to spotlight. This silent work, though less visible, carries with it profound rewards. Consider the life of an artist who spends countless hours perfecting their craft in solitude. They labor over every brushstroke, every detail, with no guarantee of immediate recognition. Yet it is in these silent hours that their true artistry emerges. The fulfillment they experience is het otter. The rewards of silent work are deeply intertwined with fulfillment and inner peace when we engage in work with dedication and integrity without seeking constant recognition. We tap into a profound sense of accomplishment. This fulfillment comes from knowing that we are true to our purpose, that we are investing our energy into something meaningful. It is a satisfaction that cannot be measured by external metrics, but it's felt deeply within. Silent work also brings about a unique kind of inner peace in the quiet moments of labor, free from the noise of competition and comparison. We find a sanctuary for our minds and spirits. It is in these moments that we connect with our true selves, away from the pressures and expectations of the world. This inner peace is not dependent on external validation. It is a state of contentment that arises from within, from the knowledge that we are working in alignment with our values and goals. Think of a gardener who plants seeds and tends to them with care. The work is often solitary and goes unnoticed by the world, but the gardener finds fulfillment in the growth and full feed. The inner peace comes from the process of nurturing, of patiently waiting for the fruits of their labor to emerge. The reward is not in the recognition, but in the quiet satisfaction of watching their work come to life. Similarly, in our own lives, we may find ourselves working behind the scenes, away from the limelight. We may be engaged in tasks that seem to go unnoticed or unappreciated by others. Yet it is in the silent work that we often find the greatest sense of purpose and satisfaction. We are building our own legacies, shaping our destinies, and finding peace in the process. The rewards of silent work remind us that true fulfillment comes not from the accolades and recognition, but from the integrity and dedication with which we approach our tasks. It is a call to focus on the work itself, to find joy in the journey, and to embrace the inner peace that comes from being true to our purpose. As you go about your endeavors, remember that the most profound rewards often come from the silent, diligent efforts. Embrace your work with passion and commitment without being swayed by the need for external validation. Find fulfillment in the process, in the alignment of your actions with your values, and in the quiet moments of your labor. Discover the inner peace that comes from knowing you are contributing something meaningful and true. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, where we expect quick results and immediate rewards, the virtues of patience and perseverance are more crucial than ever. To trust the process means to have faith in the journey, to believe that every step, no matter how challenging, is leading us toward our ultimate goal. Trusting the process is not about passively waiting for success to come to us. It is about actively engaging in our journey with the understanding that every experience, every trial, and every moment of delay has a purpose. It's about recognizing that success is not a destination, but a journey filled with steps that require both patience and perseverance. Consider the example of a sculptor who starts with a rough block of marble. The process of creating a masterpiece is not immediate. It requires patience to chip away at the stone, to refine and shape it over time. The sculptor does not become discouraged by the slow progress or the seemingly insignificant changes. Instead, they trust the process, knowing that each stroke brings them closer to revealing the true form within the marble. Similarly, in our own lives, we must understand that success often requires a process of transformation. We may start with raw potential, with dreams and aspirations that seem distant. The journey to achieving these dreams may be filled with obstacles, delays, and moments of doubt. But if we trust the process, if we remain patient and steadfast, we will see our efforts begin to take shape, just as the sculptor's marble reveals its form over time. Patience is not merely waiting, but maintaining a positive attitude and a proactive approach. While we wait, it is about understanding that there are seasons and lifetimes of growth, times of rest, and times of harvest. Just as nature has a cycle, so too does our journey. We must embrace each season with grace, knowing that the process is working in our favor. Perseverance, on the other hand, is the commitment to continue moving forward despite the challenges. It is the resolve to push through setbacks, to rise after every fall, and to stay focused on our goals. Perseverance is the driving force that keeps us moving when the road is tough and the end seems distant. It is the courage to keep going when others might give up. Take the example of a farmer planting seeds. The farmer knows that growth does not happen overnight. The seeds must be nurtured, the soil tended, and the weather endured. The farmer trusts the process, understanding that the results come not immediately, but through consistent effort and care. The harvest is a reward for the patience and perseverance invested throughout the growing season. In our personal and professional lives, we are often called to trust the process. Whether we are pursuing a new venture, working towards a goal or facing challenges, the journey requires us to remain patient and persevere. We may not always see immediate results or understand the purpose of our trials, but we must trust that every step is contributing to our growth and success. Trust in the process is a declaration of faith. It is a belief that our efforts are not in vain, and that every challenge is an opportunity for growth. It is about maintaining our vision, staying committed to our goals, and embracing the journey with all its ups and downs. When we trust the process, we align ourselves with a higher purpose and open ourselves to the possibilities that come with perseverance. As you navigate your own path, remember that the journey is just as important as the destination. Trust the process, embrace patience, and practice perseverance. Each step you take, each challenge you overcome brings you closer to your goals. Trust that the process is shaping you, preparing you, and leading you to your ultimate success. In a world where accolades and achievements can quickly elevate us to great heights, maintaining humility becomes not just a virtue, but a vital key to long-term success and true greatness. Success, by its nature, has a way of drawing attention when we achieve our goals, earn recognition, or experience breakthroughs. It's natural to enjoy the accolades and praise that come with it. Yet it is precisely in these moments of triumph that our humility is tested. True greatness is not only measured by what we achieve, but also by how we conduct ourselves once we reach the pinnacle of our success. Consider the example of a successful leader who, despite their accomplishments, remains grounded and approachable. They do not allow their achievements to inflate their ego or distance them from others. Instead, they recognize that success is not solely the result of their efforts, but also the support and contributions of those around them. This leader understands that staying humble fosters trust, respect, and genuine connections with others. Humility in the face of success is about acknowledging that while we may have achieved great things, we are still a part of something larger. It's about recognizing that our success is not an individual triumph, but a collective effort involving the support of our teams, mentors, and loved ones. It's an understanding that every accomplishment is built upon the foundation of others' contributions, and that we owe our success in part to those who have walked alongside us. In the business world, we often see leaders who, after achieving remarkable success, become distant or disconnected from their teams. They may begin to see themselves as superior or entitled, forgetting the very people who helped them reach their heights. Such a shift can undermine the unity and collaboration that were crucial to their success. Staying humble, on the other hand, ensures that we continue to value and appreciate those who have been a part of our journey. Humility also allows us to remain open to growth and learning. When we stay grounded, we are more likely to listen to feedback, embrace new ideas, and adapt to changing circumstances. Success can sometimes lead to complacency, where we feel we have nothing more to learn, but humility keeps us in a posture of continual learning and improvement, ensuring that our success is not fleeting but enduring. Another example is the story of athletes who reach the peak of their careers but remain humble and connected with their communities. Their humility endears them to fans and inspires others. They use their platform to give back, to mentor, and to lift others, showing that true success is not just about personal gain, but also about making a positive impact on the world and our own lives. Staying humble amid success means celebrating our achievements while remaining grateful and grounded. It means acknowledging that our success is not an end, but a beginning, a platform from which we can contribute more, grow further, and inspire others. It means understanding that humility is not a weakness, but a strength that enhances our character and extends the impact of our success. As you navigate your journey, remember that true greatness is not solely about what you achieve, but also about how you carry yourself when you achieve it. Embrace humility as a cornerstone of your success. Let it guide your interactions, shape your leadership, and fuel your continued growth. Staying humble amid success is not just a choice, it is a commitment to maintaining your integrity, valuing the contributions of others, and continually striving to be your best self. It is a key to not only achieving success, but sustaining it and using it to make a lasting difference. In closing, I want to leave you with this final thought. Embrace the power of silence in your journey to success. The world may not notice you now, but that's okay. Keep working, keep pushing, keep striving. Your success is not measured by how many people know your name, but by how faithfully you fulfill your purpose. When the time is right, your success will make all the noise that's needed. Work hard in silence and trust that in due season the world will see the fruit of your labor. Your life will stand as a testament to what is possible when you focus on your purpose. Stay humble and allow your work to speak for itself. May God bless you as you continue on your journey of purpose, excellence, and fulfillment.
Whether goals are just dreams, Reagan's Jackson's struck out some star in the history of people fall forward. Thomas Edison's educated and it failed experiments did you because the 1001st was the light bulb fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. Got to this heard that about the why that's so important. You will fail at some points in your life. If you will lose, you will embrace yourself. You will shock at sometimes, and I know what. Well, I am telling you, embrace it because it's individual. In the acting business, you fail at the time early on in my career. I auditioned musical perfect role for me. I thought expect for the fact that you will. But here the things I did not quite. I did not fall back. I was next audience. I prayed, I prayed, and I prayed. But I continued to fail and fail and fail. But it did not matter because there an old saying: you hang around later. You got get so you will catch a break. Catch a break. Last year I did a play called Fences on Broadway, but here the kicker. It was at the Court Theatre. It was at the same theatre that I failed and that first auditions 30 years prior. The point is every graduate their success, but do you have the guts to fail? If you don't fail, you are not even trying. You are not even trying to get something. To do some things you never did. It is turning around. You did bad. Are the ghosts representing the ghost of the ideas you never acted, the ghost of talent?